Being LGBTQ plus can bring great challenges and struggles for a young person as they grow up. Now put that person in the military and the struggles increase. Add on the requirement that the gay person cannot disclose their orientation or risk losing their career, not to mention friends and families, and you have the life story of Karen Solt. The retired U.S. Navy Chief Senior Petty Officer now shares a very personal account of her struggles and life in a new book called Hiding for My Life, Being Gay in the Navy. And Karen joins me now. Karen, it's so good to see you. So when you joined the active military in 1984 in the Navy, that was before Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Then the policy comes into play while you're in the military. Can you talk about the impact of being in the military and the challenges for you before that policy and even during it?
Sure. Before Don't Ask, Don't Tell, people who served in the services who were gay were actually hunted down by the Criminal Investigative Services. So for me specifically, that would have been the NCIS. And so they tried to catch us. They would hunt us down. They would catch one person. They would bring that person in, interrogate that person. And then, before you knew it, a bunch of people could be kicked out. Don't Ask, Don't Tell came along 10 years after I joined the military, which really made it so that they could no longer hunt us or ask us questions, but we still had to remain silent. Any disclosure of our sexuality would mean immediately discharged, just like always.
Telling the story clearly is cathartic for you, but I'm sort of curious because you opened the book by saying, this truth won't set you free, referring to yourself. So having the story behind you now, what was the purpose of writing this book to share this story?
Yeah, really to set myself free. I think that is the truth, is that, when I was on active duty, telling anybody that I was gay would have gotten me kicked out, but would not have set me free. Now, writing my experiences after holding on to them for decades has liberated me. And that's the reason that I have set this book free into the world as well.
You did date guys in your life. You talked about that in the book, Scott and Jim and whatnot. But what do you say? There are some people who would say, well, isn't being gay a choice? You dated guys. You could have married one of them. Why didn't you make that happen? Is this really a choice, or is this about orientation?
Well, I personally don't believe that it's a choice. It wasn't a choice for me. I dated the nicest guys in the world, but something was always off. And I didn't realize what that was until I joined the military and I actually met some other lesbians. Then I understood that the reason why I never connected with men was because I'm gay.
Having family support, of course, is so critical. In your family, you came out to your mom eventually. You have an older brother who's very religious. And I think, at least initially, you didn't get the support you were looking for from your family.
Yeah, I think that, with my parents, I think the fear was that life was going to be hard for me. I think any parent wants their child to have an easy road, and being gay and being gay in the world, being gay in the military created extra obstacles for me. So I think, in some regards it was worry. And yes, I have an older brother who I'm, we get along great, but we have differences of opinions of what is appropriate in the world and what isn't, and we get to have those differences and still be brother and sister.
Many of the challenges you talk about in a book, I mean, it's a very revealing book. You've truly given us so much of the history, and you use some real names, some not. You refer to one person named H, who was married, and he fell in love with you and wanted to leave his wife, but he first met you before Don't Ask, Don't Tell. You couldn't tell him the truth. The bottom line is people didn't often think of the consequences of that policy in the real world.
Yeah, the deal is that hiding hurts everybody. And I had a mentor who I revered. I absolutely idolized and wanted to be just like him. But he fell in love with me, did not know that I was gay. If I had told him that I was gay, I would have been kicked out. And so I hid so well that he actually, I think, assumed at one point that I was actually in love with him, and I was not. And that is a huge part of my memoir, and it was the turning point in my life. It was a very devastating event that happened because of that experience. And a lot of that experience happened because I was hiding.
And you were struggling with alcohol, and even though the Navy had resources, you couldn't really use those resources because you couldn't be honest about what was going on. In our last moment, I just want you to talk about, I think it's called a hidologist now, and that's because your background has led you to a new career. Just give me a word about what that is.
Yeah, I created a website called Hidology. I consider myself a combat hidologist. I think every human hides. I can see how we do it. We start in early childhood where we don't feel safe being ourselves, and then we go into hiding. Addiction was the way that I started my hiding. At some point, I did get sober. I've been sober now for over 30 years. But every human hides. And so that's the work that I do in the world. I think if you're going to learn how to come out from hiding, learning from somebody who was gay in the military and had to hide for a very long time is probably a good person to learn from.
Bottom line is, would you change anything you've done in the past and you relate in the book?
No, I think all of my experiences brought me to this point to where I get to share this message with the world. And although a lot of that was very painful, I would not change a thing, I don't believe.
Well, congratulations. It's a very revealing book. It takes a lot of guts to say all that you say in the book, and I congratulate you on it. And you can check out HeidiOlogy.com for more information about this. And also the book is Hiding for Your Life, Being Gay in the Navy by Karen Solt. Thank you so much, Karen. I appreciate it.